Hey, this is Jonathan here at Polar. I'm one of the founders, and I wanted to do a quick walkthrough through Polar. So, on a high level, Polar is a learning tool where you can take notes, you can read, and you can essentially memorize all the information that you're learning in here. As a starting point, you just upload a bunch of different files, PDFs, EPUBs. We even have a Chrome extension to capture web content directly into Polar. And then we have an integrated reader. So I already opened a file, and then you see all your reading in here, right? So we'll do other videos where we go into details, but you can do a whole bunch of different things with the reading, right? You can tag it with different tags. You have a whole bunch of different things: flagging, updating, the metadata, archiving. You can click through it, and again, we'll have other videos to go in depth on that. So in the reader, this is a file I've already read. You can do a whole bunch of different things, right? Like you can create highlights, and then, like you can treat the highlights just like notes. I've read this file already. Those blue marks indicate, right, like what I've read. I've read the whole thing, so obviously it's marked red. And then what you can do here is you can treat this just like a note, right? Treat like a note. Now, what we do here is we also do backlinking, right? So I already backlinked MDD, right? So like I created a backlink, and now I have all this here, and I can type in more content. And then as you've probably seen other tools, this can also be linked all together, right? And then the other thing is you can do with the highlights a whole bunch of other stuff. Change the colors, flashcards. You can also use the AI feature to just create the flashcards automatically. You can tag them, you can delete, you can jump to the specific location, and a whole bunch of other things. I've already created a flashcard here, but the way this works is very straightforward. You just take here, you click on this, and it puts the highlight on the back, right? So now you can type the front end. So I did this here already, and then you're done. Now, as I mentioned, we're not just a reading tool, but we're also a note-taking tool. So you have all your notes here in one place, and then you have your daily notes, as you might be familiar with other tools in here as well, right? And so, as an example here, I just wrote down what I want to talk about in this video, right? So we've spoken about the overview, the library, the fact that you can read and do a whole bunch of stuff with the reading. Now we're with the notes, right? And then the daily notes. And the nice thing here is specific note about, right? We had previously linked this, created the MDD link, and now obviously this doesn't make much sense, but you have all those things linked here, right? And you can link all the content from the reading and from note-taking directly in Polar. Now the last thing is we've created a flashcard, right? And we have a spaced repetition algorithm on the back end, very similar to what Anki does. In fact, you can sync your flashcards with Anki as well, all the cards that you've created in Polar. And you can review your flashcards in Polar as well. The way you do it, you go here, you have all your annotations and highlights in here, and you can start a review. So I personally don't really use the flashcard tool anymore. I'm not in school anymore, but I know this is one of the most popular features in Polar, right? And then you just click on this and you start reviewing them. You can do the same thing with all your annotations. Probably I'm just going to have a bunch of BS cards, but let's do it just for fun, right? Okay, what is demonstrating retention? No idea, right? Okay, this is demonstrating retention. I didn't know it, so I would click again, and now it puts it somewhere in the back and schedules it again for me to review if I wanted to do it. So this actually we had before, so I should know it. I did not remember it. Oh well, right? Major depressive disorder. So I have to review this again. As you can see, I don't have many cards, but now this review is completed. Again, we'll go into depth how exactly the reviews work and how you can work with flashcards, but this is an overview of Polar, right? You have all your reading in one place, all your notes in one place, and then also the learning with flashcards you can do all in Polar.